What's up, guys? So I'm going to do a little quick tutorial here, just a few minutes long. It's going to be about tone chasing and how important it is or how not important it is, and my own approach. And yeah. But yeah, first, this is the cruiser practice area. It's pretty messy. We're not done setting it up. We want to make it a little more nice. We got the electric drums that we don't use. We have a lot of guitars down here, but you kind of can get a flavor for it over there. But yeah, so the reason why I'm making this video is because I'm actually about to do a guitar cover, just for fun. It's just something fun. I think it's beneficial to learn other people's stuff, and it's also beneficial as a guitarist or any musician, and just in life at all, in general, I guess, is to have fun, right? It's not take yourself too seriously. And on guitar, you can really benefit from learning other people's stuff and apply tricks to your own playing, or just grab some ideas, get some different approaches, even if it's something where you find, wow, I don't like that. So you can learn it, and then you can avoid doing it. So what I'm going to do a guitar cover of is a Metallica song from the album Kill 'Em All. And Metallica have a lot of different guitar sounds throughout their career. They're all pretty iconic, so I wanted to try and replicate the Kill 'Em All song that I'm doing, which I'm going to probably post this video first. So yeah, let me explain how I would do that. So I know for a fact, and this is just from my own knowledge, from being a Metallica fan for so many years, and from also doing just a little bit of research on forums, watching live videos from that era, is that number one, let's start at the beginning of the signal chain, right? Kirk and James both were using Gibson Flying V, and I think James was using like a replicate of a Gibson Flying V, but let's just call it a Gibson Flying V, okay? What does that mean? That means that they're using a Gibson with humbuckers in it, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I don't have a Flying V. It'd be nice, I love Flying Vs, but it'd be cool to have that aesthetic. But a Les Paul, they don't sound exactly like Flying Vs, but that is going to get me in a pretty close ballpark, right? It's just got regular humbuckers in it, no EMGs or anything. So that's what I'll do for that. Now for amps, let's skip the pedal part of the signal chain, and let's go to amp, right? So they were using Marshall Plexis of some sort, right? I don't have a Plexi. That would be ridiculous to own and play in this basement where I have neighbors. But this DSL is a pretty damn good amp, and you can get a lot of different sounds out of it. I find that this amp does better with more of a classic gain kind of a sound. I don't think it's a great metal amp, but what they were doing with the Plexis didn't have that much gain, so I would suspect that what they were doing is getting the Plexis to a point where they get as much gain as they could get them, right? Which is really not that much to nowadays standards. So the gain is at like, wrong channel. It's like at 2, right? It's a little under 2. That's nothing. And I got some hate on an Instagram video. People like, oh man, you don't use enough gain. My brother in Christ, you don't need a lot of gain or distortion, whatever. There's also a good bit of bite on that guitar tone, which I'm kind of replicating with the treble, which I use in conjunction with the presence. They kind of go hand in hand, right? There's definitely mid-range. It's definitely not scooped mids. Also, shout out to not having a knob there. I've used this for so many damn gigs. So the gain is at the mids, sorry, is like at 4. And the bass, you don't want to go overboard with it, because you got to remember is that a lot of the low end on guitars you're hearing on records is coming from bass guitars. So usually you don't want to go overboard on the bass. But I find this amp has a lot of top end, so I typically, no matter what I do, the bass is usually there, right? So the gain's at 2. Now, what Metallica did back in the day, this is before they had the JCM 800s, this is before they had the Mesa Boogies, this is before they had the modeling amps, like, I don't know what a Metallica uses, Axe Effects maybe? Don't shoot me if I'm wrong. But I have nothing against modeling amps. I would love to have one, but I'm not even going to record the video into a DAW. So I'm not going to use I'm just literally using my phone mic, which, I plan on stepping up that production at some point, but it's just something I have not made the time to do yet. So what they did is they would use distortion pedals, such as, I think Kirk probably used a tube screamer, which I got over here, but it's actually not working. So I definitely should get that fixed because they're freaking awesome. And I think James used a rat pedal, which I don't have. So Charlie, who plays drums in Cruiser and is a friend of mine and a roommate, he lets me borrow this distortion pedal. Well, it's an overdrive actually, because I find that if you're going just to add a little kick, you want to use an overdrive, not a distortion. Most of the time, obviously, do whatever you feel is best. There's no rules to it, but that's just what I like to do. The drive is at around like, what, 1 o'clock, right? Like, is that 1 o'clock? I think. Tone is halfway, level is about there, because you don't want it to go overboard. And I feel like I got pretty close to that guitar sound with those three aspects: that pedal, this amp, that guitar. By the way, Ice-T Burst, best Les Paul color. You can't tell me otherwise. Yeah. Now it's not perfect. It's got a little honkiness, which is like somewhere in the mid-range. If I was miking this into a DAW, I would probably scoop that frequency out, which is around 440. I think I could, like I said, don't shoot me if I'm wrong, but I would scoop that out because I don't like it, and I've been having trouble trying to locate it through this rig. But, like I said, this is just for fun. I'm not like, I think the playing is much more important than the tone and the gear, and I think if anyone tells you otherwise, they're wrong. And like I said, this is just something I'm doing for fun, so guys, it's not that deep. But I kind of want to just show you that you don't need a ton of stuff to get different tones. Like, this is so much different from the tone I use with the Cruiser live rig, and I'm using the same amp and the same guitar. So don't feel like you can't do something because you don't have the gear. Just do it anyway. Get as close as you want, as close as you can, and have fun with it. So yeah, that's my tone rant. All right, peace.